Well, hey everyone. It is Sunday night, December 28th, and we have us a severe thunderstorm warning. We were not outlooked for severe weather today, but with these cold fronts, you just never know. A lot of wind energy with this, and so here we are with a severe thunderstorm warning for northern and eastern Davidson County. And what this is, the Weather Service sees an area of strong winds here right around Springfield up in Robertson County. And so that area of strong wind being shown on radar, we're not for sure that's reaching the ground, but there is the potential of some strong winds here right along the front, and then maybe just behind it as well, right there around Springfield and Coopertown, up there in Robertson County. And that's generally kind of headed to the southeast. And so they've drawn up a severe thunderstorm warning here in the event that those winds are reaching the ground. And those are generally on the order of 50 to 60 miles per hour. So kind of low end severe threshold there in Robertson County. And that is generally moving to the southeast. So areas like Goodlettsville and Luton's and let's see, Baker's, areas like that up there in Davidson County, down toward Goodlettsville, Madison, Lakewood, Hermitage. So those are the areas that are included in this warning. So let's zoom out here. Let's look at the polygon. I'll give you kind of the general radar view here, and let me go over to our chat and see about what you guys are saying. Somebody asked about Nolensville. Nolensville is not included in this warning. So y'all see I got all dressed up for this event. I was just planning on tweeting, but here we are. So, all right, let me turn off the big white box there, and let's just focus on the warning. How about that? All right. So that yellow polygon is who's inside the severe thunderstorm warning. And this is for basically Joelton, Bakers, Goodlettsville, Luton's, Ivy Point, Union Hill, Amqui, Rivergate, Lakewood, Old Hickory, Hermitage, and then over into Sumner County, over there into Hendersonville and Gallatin. So let's look again at why this was issued. You see these bright blue colors here, right there around Springfield and Coopertown, about to cross 431 there. Some strong winds being indicated on radar. Again, we don't have confirmation yet that those winds are reaching the ground, but they decided to go ahead and issue this warning just in case they are. This has been a gusty front. Back to the west, there have been some, you're looking at some wind gusts. There were some gusts to 49 knots at Clarksville. That's about 57 miles an hour, I believe. 56, 57 miles an hour there in Clarksville. So there definitely have been some strong winds reaching the surface. And this may be part of that leftover from Clarksville earlier. So good call. Good call to go ahead and issue this warning. So, okay, again, let's take a look at. I'll answer your questions just a second over in the chat, and but let me go ahead and look at some areas that are included in this. Those of you that are just joining us in the past few minutes, a couple of hundred more have joined us just in the past 30 seconds or so. So severe thunderstorm warning. This is in effect until 10:30. So 45 minutes left on this warning. And this is because of the cold front that's coming through. See this very thin line of heavy rain. It's not really even thunderstorms. Let me turn on the lightning here. And really, there's just nothing. Really no lightning with this at all. So it's hard to even call it a thunderstorm, but it has definitely had the potential of putting down some very gusty winds. A lot of wind energy out there, as y'all know. So let's look at who's involved with this. Greenbrier, Ridgetop, Millersville, Bakers, Luton's, Madison, Lakewood, Hermitage, Goodlettsville, Rivergate. That's about it. All right. Latest radar image there. Wind's still pretty strong. Looks like 60 to 65 miles per hour, about 1,400 feet up. And even some folks down in Hickman County were just reporting the power out down there when the rain came through there. So really could be strong winds up and down this line. Somebody asked about some ETAs. All right, I'll give it my best shot here. This thing's moving at southeast at 35. So I would say it would be in Goodlettsville here in the next 15 minutes. So Goodlettsville in probably 15 minutes. Madison probably the next 15 to 20 minutes. And Hermitage probably looking for another 30 to 40 minutes there in Hermitage. Blowing pretty good there between Joelton and Pleasant View. And power flickering there in the Joelton, Ashland City area. Not a surprise with all the wind we've had today. I mean, our power was out for, we had, I guess, a tree or something come down across the road. Our power was out for about a couple hours today because of the wind. So very windy day. This front has a lot of wind energy with it. And looks like somebody up in Springfield had a pretty strong gust as well here, looking at some reports coming in. Looks like just south of Springfield, looks like the gustiest area. And power's out north of Springfield. So good to know, you folks up there in Robertson County. We're getting it down here next, here in Davidson. And we got even a couple of hundred more now that have joined in the past couple of minutes. So let's use the split screen here to sort of illustrate what's going on. The left side there is showing the traditional rain view that you're used to looking at, and that very thin line of red, yellow and red, is the very heavy rain right along the cold front. And also right along that cold front, it's a very sharp cold front. There, I mean, we've obviously had some very warm, unusually warm air. We tied the record today, by the way, for this date back in 1874. We tied the record today for high temperature, I think 75 degrees. So very warm air. And then this cold front is very sharp. It's got a lot of very cold air behind it. Obviously, we're going to be in the 30s tomorrow. So there's a big difference in pressure, in temperature, and this front has a lot to work with as far as that goes. There's not a lot of energy as far as available energy for the storms, and I hope that makes sense a little bit. We look at different parameters with storms, and really, the parameters were not impressive today. So this is more of just kind of this front's being driven by the wind, by the cold, heavy air behind it that's just kind of slamming through. And I think that's kind of mostly what this is, just that cold air slamming through behind this front. And it's not really a traditional storm ingredient setup for us here. The ingredients actually were pretty poor as far as that goes. So, but we can get some strong wind events like that. We had some last week, right? So what we have here is some pretty strong wind there south of Springfield, headed into Greenbrier and Ridgetop there in Robertson County. And then that's going to be coming into Davidson County. In fact, part of it is now right around Baxter Road, Coopertown Road, Ridgeview Estates, Ivy Point, Greer Road, the Bakers community up there north of Goodlettsville. After Ridgetop is going to be the Luton's community, Dry Creek, Union Hill, a lot of trees up there. They'll definitely be hearing the roar of this wind come through up there, where all those trees are. And then it's just going to push southeast. So we'll kind of watch cameras. We'll watch different things to see how this evolves. But I'm not concerned about tornadoes. Of course, I tell you, uh, it wasn't that long ago. This evening, I said I'm really not worried about severe winds. We were not outlooked for severe weather today. Again, the parameters have not been impressive as far as severe weather goes. So, and here we are. I'm talking to you guys, which I'm glad to be talking to y'all. But I'm really not worried about tornadoes. I would be shocked if we got any spin up tornadoes out of this. But it is what it is. Right now, just looking at severe winds, potentially right there inside that polygon. Let's see. I'm gonna go back through here in your chat. Somebody asked about Nolensville. Nolensville will get hit by this, but you're not included in the severe thunderstorm warning. The severe thunderstorm warning is only for about the northern and eastern 2/3 of Davidson County. Somebody asked about Gallatin. Yeah, Gallatin is included in the severe thunderstorm warning. So, yes, there is a threat there of some strong winds. So, yeah, just as a reminder, the low tonight is about. Just show my face to my computer. Oh, it doesn't recognize me. That's not good. Okay. Yeah, the low tonight's 30, and the high tomorrow is about 37. So we're back in the 30s for highs for a couple of days. 37 on Monday, 38 Tuesday, up to 49 on Wednesday, and in the 50s New Year's Day. So, but got to have a cold few days here. How long will the storm last? Good question. Those that have had it, looks like it's going to be about 20 minutes or so. I don't think the worst of it shouldn't last very long. These thin lines like this, man, they come in, and really the worst of it's done in about um, 5-10 minutes, and then it moves on. So really, what we're doing here, we're just kind of watching radar scans. Let's see if we can pull up some cameras here. How about that? Uh, Figure out exactly where this line is, and then we'll pull some cameras up. It's not quite to Old Hickory yet. It will be soon. Really, not many cameras to the northwest. Why are there no TDOT cameras? I've always wondered this. All right, here's the TDOT map. There are no TDOT cameras on 24 to the northwest, except for one at Old Hickory Boulevard or Licton Pike. What is that? Licton Pike Bridge? Would love to have some TDOT cameras up there, but they're all on 40, 65, 24, 40, 65. So what's happening here on the velocities is that as the storm gets closer to the radar, the winds die off, and part of what that is the as you get closer to the radar beam is lower. So whereas we were up around 14, 1,500 feet, now it's sampling winds down at about 800 feet. All right. So it's kind of like so the winds may or may not be dying off, but the radar beam's reading in a very different area here of the storm. So the winds at 800, 900 feet probably aren't as strong as up there around 15, 16, 1,700 feet. So it'll be interesting to see as this gets closer to the radar. If you know, you kind of sometimes have one of these aha moments where as the storm gets closer to the radar, you see what's going on at the ground a little bit better, and you're like, oh, those winds may not have been as strong as we thought they were when the radar beam was reading, 17, 18, 4,000 feet high, and you couldn't really see what was going on at the ground level. Still some very strong winds. Radar still definitely showing some 57, 58 mile per hour wind gusts, very localized wind gusts there in the Bakers area. So, so still some strong winds, but we'll see if they keep the severe going. And it looks like they just shored up that warning a little bit. So they did not cancel it, but they sort of brought it in a little bit, the borders of it, so they could give the all clear to Springfield. So starting to hear the wind in Bell's Bend. Yeah, it's right on top of you in Bell's Bend. Let's see what T-Dot cameras we have out there. I know we have more. So I'll do a There we go. A little hard to tell at night, isn't it? Be easier to tell once we get into street lights here in town. I mean, the camera seems awfully still. Usually we see them bouncing all over the place if it's really blowing, but it's tough to tell. Yeah, it's a little better. Yeah, you can see the sheets of rain, but it's just a little tough to tell. Yeah, let's go up there to the Goodlettsville line. That's a good idea. Um, let's see. Let's go to some buffering issues there. Well, I haven't seen anything too crazy yet, but it's just tough to see. So, eh, inconclusive. We'll have to wait till it gets a little further over into town where we have some streetlights. All right, so let's kind of recap what we have. We still have this severe thunderstorm warning that's going on until 10:30, and that's for this this line here: Bakers, Millersville, Hendersonville, Lakewood, Madison, Hermitage, Goodlettsville. You guys are all Rivergate. Y'all are in that warning. And it looks like there's just some small areas of some potentially severe wind right there around Millersville, the Luton's community, Freeman Hollow Road. Let's go check NES, kind of keep the power outage maps up. That kind of gives us a gauge of what's going on out there. Let's see. It looks like a little bit of an outage. We're looking at less than 50 people without power up there in the NES area, and that's mostly out there, Old Hickory Boulevard, Bellevue area. So that's about 20 customers there. So we'll keep an eye on that, and also keeping an eye on velocities here. We have TBNA today, which is rare. Let's see what velocities are there. Looks like some pockets of pretty strong winds, just kind of in various places up and down the line. So it looks like a pretty decent area there around Pasco, Poplar Creek Road, McCrory Lane. All right, let's do some ETAs here. If I had to guess, I would say that, in fact, let's see if we can fire up the ETA machine here, huh? What do you think? Let's go over here and let's pull up the ETA machine. Where'd my box go? There it is. All right. So it looks like downtown Nashville about 10:07. So another few minutes there. It looks like Creve Hall about 10:15, 10:16. Oak Hill 10:13. Franklin 10:17. Brentwood 10:17. B&A about the same time. And then moving on to Mount Juliet about 10:27. Percy Priest Lake about the same time. So there's some ETAs for you. Those are estimates. Y'all check out this time lapse. This is from the Weather Service office in Memphis. It's about a 20-minute time lapse of the temperature dropping there in Memphis. So started out at 71. Front passes about a 20-minute time lapse there of the temperature dropping. Pretty cool. Well, looks like the wind has kind of gotten into parts of the area that have some street lights. So let's go look at what the wind's doing as this comes in to Nashville. All right, let's do a little tour here. Camera's shaking a little bit, nothing crazy yet. Let's take a look at the radar. And Tom is Tom Johnstone, who works with us here in Nashville Severe Weather. He's in Germantown, and he says 50-ish up there, 50 mile per hour ish up there. So yeah, gusty coming through. Really, no matter where you are, he's not really inside the warning, but definitely gusty up there. Looks like we even have just a really small area of some gusty winds crossing. What is that? Crossing Highway 11. That's going to be Dickerson Road. So those of you, I'd be very interested to hear from you guys right there in right there around Dickerson Road and coming up on Ellington Parkway. Uh, looks like it just crossed Gallatin Road, Kirkland Avenue. Interesting little area of some strong wind there. Wondering if any of you all were underneath that. It's like Trinity and Gallatin. Yeah, somebody just said, yeah, definitely windy east side, Trinity and Gallatin. Yeah. Somebody said just knocked out power there around Maplewood High School. Yeah. So still some pockets of very strong wind. So let me take a look at the NES outage map. Hasn't updated yet. Still only 28 customers out, but that's definitely going to go up here in the next few minutes, it looks like. Well, pretty potent cold front this is, looks like. So it's not going to last long. Let's go look at the Ellington Parkway cameras here. Be over here at Brawley here shortly. This is McGavick Pike over near Opryland. So we'll be over there here in just a second. I think it just got there. There it is. Yeah, this is pretty reminiscent of some of the decent December cold fronts that we get around here. When I lived in Texas, we lived in Texas for a few years, and you would get these cold fronts in the late fall and winter time called blue northers. And this is exactly what they had down there in Texas, and it's essentially the same thing for us. So you get these really sharp cold fronts that come through, um, and dropping the temperature 30, 40 degrees. So that's definitely one of those. Well, that camera's rocking and rolling, isn't it? Let's go check another one here. This is Brawley Parkway, north of McGavick Pike. So this is looking like Opryland's going to be straight ahead in this shot, and that's the Nazarene Church there on the left. Whoa, that was a gust. Let's go look at radar again. All right, so warning continues till 10:30, so about another 15, 16 minutes on it. And then the line has gone through downtown Nashville, so all clear for downtown Nashville. The line has moved just off to the east. Um, never downtown Nashville was never in the warning, but the strong line has moved east of you. Berry Hill, it's right on top of you now. Forest Hill is going to be crossing Franklin Road here shortly into Brentwood and Franklin. So let's go look at TB&A and see what it's showing for velocities. It's got a pretty good read on it. And a couple of areas of some strong winds in Williamson County shown by TB&A. So it looks like maybe some strong gusts right there around Battlewood, Grassland, moving into the Cool Springs area shortly. So Holly Tree Farms, Linwood Downs, Brentwood South, those areas. Let's go back up to the Weather Service radar. So just a little bit of the warning left, and it's just for northeastern Davidson County. So really Lakewood and Hermitage, Peeler Park, Tulip Grove, Old Hickory. Really, that's the only area left in the warning. As it says there, it's roaring for the Rivergate area. Started pouring in Hendersonville. Power out in Goodlettsville. So Let's go back. I'm going to look at the outage map again. It's gone from 28 customers to 2,082, and yeah, it looks like a significant circuit has gone down up there in the Goodlettsville area. So really, everybody looks like pretty much everybody from downtown Goodlettsville up toward the Bakers, Ridgetop, all the way back to Ivy Point Road, and down all everybody in Union Hill without power there. So big old circuit uh, was taken down there in North Goodlettsville. So big outage there, and then looks like another outage there off of Williamson Road, off of the highway there, Springfield Highway, and looks like an outage there around right where that really strong wind gust was just a minute ago. So right there around Trinity Lane and Dickerson Road. That's exactly where that strong wind gust was. There about 5, 7, 10 minutes ago. So right where that gust was, looks like some power outages there, and there. So it looks like a little bit of a path, even of some straight line wind damage, potentially exactly where that area on radar was. So I'll show it to you right now. So if you go back in time, see right here, that strong area wind. This is this right here is Trinity Lane. Here's Dickerson Road. And these are winds showing at about 58 miles per hour. Right there, they're showing 66 miles per hour. So it looks like right there was a little bit of a straight line wind gust. And what do you know? We have power outages right there. So interesting. All right. Let's do sort of a little recap here of what we got. Severe thunderstorm warning continues here for another few minutes, about another 10, 11 minutes here. It's a very small severe thunderstorm warning, what's left. And really, this is going to be for basically Hermitage. And it's basically Hermitage down to like Summit Hospital, Nashville Shores. But really, if you want to be honest about it, it's probably typical of the winds that are really up and down this line. So really from Lakewood to Hermitage, B&A, Creve Hall, Brentwood down to Franklin, probably gusty winds up and down the line. The strongest area looks to be, hang on, I got to say hi to Paige. Paige is my cousin. All right. So anyway, what I was saying was we got this severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for just another 10 minutes, 9, 10 minutes or so. And it's going to be hard rain, hard wind. And that's really about it. Some power outages. And that's probably going to be about it. Let's take a look at the outage map again. 2,082 customers. That's the way it still stands right now. And lost power in Donaldson. So the 2,082 customers will update, probably go up. We'll see. And it looks like the severe thunderstorm warning is going away. Or they're saying it will expire at 10:30. Okay. So it will expire at 10:30. Read the text here. The severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern Davidson, central Sumner, and northwestern Wilson counties will expire at 10:30. So it is weakened below severe limits, no longer poses immediate threat to life and property. That's great news. All right. So tell you what we're going to do. We are going to we're going to jump off of the live stream since the warning is gone. But that just means we get to focus on socials more. So Will's over there handling socials, but we're gonna pay attention to the outage map and a bunch of different things on socials and keep you all updated there. So we'll shut the live stream down and we'll focus on socials. So we'll be over on Twitter, X, whatever it is. We'll be on Blue Sky, will be on Threads, it will be on Instagram, and you can let us know in any of those places if you have any damage, and we'll get that over to the Weather Service. They'll definitely want to know about that. All right. Hey, you guys have a good week. If you are in extreme southeastern Davidson County or far eastern Williamson County, enjoy the warm weather while it lasts for the next 5 minutes before the front comes through and takes us back to winter. All right.